Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a really cool connection between Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Snoke, and that's right, the High Republic. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Greetings, Exalted Ones. Welcome to Star Wars Coffee, the only place on the internet that you need to stay up to date with all things Star Wars. We're talking the latest Star Wars news, leaks, and of course, as always, giving you my analysis. Channel memberships are now live, and for $1.99 a month, you can get exclusive videos from me weekly as we rewatch the entire Star Wars series together. We would be honored if you would join us. The sequel trilogy has concluded as the final chapter in the Skywalker saga is The Rise of Skywalker. Like it or not, Disney is still trying to whittle in elements of this era into other eras of Star Wars to make it much more lore driven, which I do appreciate because I felt like there wasn't enough lore in it to begin with. And I really love the latest connection of what they've done with the High Republic and connecting it with the Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries. So what they did was they took this, and you guys know I'm awful at pronunciation, so forgive me already for the pronunciations I'm about to butcher, but Charles Soule has confirmed that we saw Amexine Station from Into the Dark in his Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries. So this is from the High Republic livestream event that Disney did back on the 4th, I believe, and it has been made that this connection of Amexine Station is seen in the Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries, which is a 4-part arc that Charles Soule wrote. And Into the Dark is not a Charles Soule book, but it will be the next book released of the High Republic era. So the first book released into the High Republic era was Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi, and the second book is going to be released in February by Claudia Gray called Into the Dark, which is where Padawan Reath Silas is being sent from the cosmopolitan galactic capital of Coruscant, the undeveloped frontier, to the undeveloped frontier, and he couldn't be less happy about it. He'd rather stay at the Jedi Temple studying the archives. But when the ship he's traveling on is knocked out of hyperspace in a galactic-wide disaster, he finds himself at the center of the action. The Jedi and traveling companions find refuge on what appears to be an abandoned space station, hint hint. But the strange things start happening, leading the Jedi to investigate the truth behind the mysterious station, a truth that could end in tragedy. And I am very excited for that. Again, that's February 2nd, 2021. It's billed as a young adult novel, but it's still gonna be up there, so it's gonna be awesome. So this was really heavily featured. The Amexine Station was really heavily featured in the Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries, comic 2 of 4. And I highly suggest you guys go check out the videos on the channel I did about that. I'm about to play a clip from the second one, so you guys can see what Kylo Ren and Snoke did on Amexine Station. But a quick note, it's gotta be ridiculously cool to know that this was already an ancient station by the time that Snoke has inhabited it. Isn't that crazy? So we have this High Republic era hundreds of years before the Phantom Menace. So you gotta take that and then you have to throw it all the way to the Rise of Skywalker. So you're looking at the fact that this was already ancient and it still stands after the High Republic era, and it's such a cool thing to see, and I'm glad that they're tying this stuff in together. So let's take a look at this from the High Republic connection to the Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries. So this is everything that happened on that station, primarily in the comic number 2. There was a couple of things in 1 and 3, but this is the primary bulk of what happened on Amexine Station between Kylo Ren and Supreme Leader Snoke. That Ben is clearly still nervous, as he stutters at times when he's talking to Snoke. For example, when he's referring to, but you were asking about the Knights of Ren. You know, Snoke says that, and Ben still stutters, saying, I think I could learn from them. So clearly he's not still set in his ways. He's made this decision, but what Charles Soule did really well is he was still able to capture the conflict between Kylo even now. So he was never fully embracing the dark side to the best of his ability. That's why he had to hinge his faith in Vader's mask so much, because he clearly couldn't commit to the dark side, knowing that he wasn't meant for it. So I think at some point Kylo clearly knew all of that, and he clearly wants to make a name for himself, which I find admirable, that Kylo wants to make a name for himself, not relying on his name. He's named after Obi-Wan, which he's never even met, and they reference Solo, which I also liked. They reference Solo when he says Solo isn't even Han's real name. So when Han was going to enlist in the Imperial Academy as a pilot, he's just says Han and he doesn't have a name, and the takes his name and says Han Solo. So Ben clearly isn't happy to be related to all of these rebellion heroes, just because he's not going to be able to get that association for his work and his work ethic and who he is. He's always going to be introduced as, this is the son of Leia and Han Solo, two famous rebellion generals, or he's the nephew of Luke Skywalker, the last living Jedi, and all of this. So he wants to make a name for himself, which is partially the reason I think he sought Snoke out. Ben doesn't know who Snoke is completely either. When Ben is with Snoke and he gets a transmission from Hux, Ben asks who Hux is, and Snoke just kind of brushes it off, saying, you know, you're not the only person I talk to, all of that, and deceiving Ben, continually manipulating him into just taking this facade that Snoke is of this mentor that can help Ben realize his true potential in a way that Luke can't, type of deal, which is the way Ben's been bought into this whole charade, is he just believes that Snoke's going to be able to help him in ways that Luke can't. So it's very similar to the way that Anakin kind of went with Palpatine rather than sticking with the Jedi Order, because there was this thing that he wanted to learn that he knew he couldn't learn from the Jedi. So he's going to another mentor to try and learn these things, because these are very self-centered characters during their turn before they come back to the light side, which is a great mirroring of Anakin and Ben Solo. I've always thought that they mirrored each other really well, and I really like the way that Charles Soule is able to really capture the essence of who this character of Kylo Ren is in this comics, and I can't appreciate that enough. Another reason that this is one of my favorite comics. When you analyze it like this, it's so great to see. It's a fun read, and then when you really do a deep dive into it, it just gets that much better and much more richer. And I really like the line where Snoke says he wasn't born Snoke, but he became Snoke. And this is obviously true because Snoke is Palpatine. Palpatine made Snoke, and Snoke is the second facade after Senator Palpatine, who was the first facade before his true identity of Darth Sidious. So Palpatine is really the master puppet master, which is just such an underappreciated thing about Star Wars and about the Skywalker saga, is the character of Darth Sidious and how he was able to manipulate all of these pieces for such a long amount of time. And the other thing I think is really great is Ben clearly knows that he's been thinking about this. Charles Soule, I should say, has done an excellent job portraying Ben to know that he's been thinking about who he would be if he wasn't this type of Jedi and if he could pick his own name. And Snoke has been very encouraging to this, telling him that children's thoughts are pure, they do not practice self-deception, they are who they are, which is trying to hinge on the fact of and intrude on Kylo's perception that when he thought of this must have been who he really was and not who he's been trained to be, type of deal. I hope you guys enjoyed that. What a trip down memory lane that I probably did that video over about a year ago at this point, and boy, my narration was a little rough on that one. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I still really enjoy it. Don't forget to go subscribe to R2's Databank, the second channel, which will really be kicking off tomorrow, like heavily, when WandaVision debuts. So thank you guys for watching this video. May God bless you and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it!
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.